Namaste everyone and welcome back to our channel. So today we are going to start a new series on Linux for DevOps. In this particular series, we are going to cover all the basic commands, advanced commands as well as shell scripting. So basically almost everything will be covered. Okay. So first of all, before trying to understand what Linux is, let us first try to understand what is an operating system. So basically an operating system is a system software that manages computer hardware as well as software components. So it acts as a middle layer between applications as well as hardware. So let us try to understand what is Linux. So Linux is also an operating system which is open sourced and based on Unix. It is known for its stability, security as well as flexibility. Linus Torvalds was the one who created Linux in 1991. Okay, so let us try to understand how it actually works. Now, whenever any application needs to be executed, the request first goes to the operating system. Within the operating system, there are multiple components which include system libraries, system call interface, as well as kernel components. These three are the three different layers, we can say, within the operating system. So whenever any application needs to be executed, the request goes to the system libraries. Now the appropriate library then sends the request to the kernel components. Okay, so kernel components handle all the operations including process management, file management, so anything with respect to the hardware. And this request goes through the system call interface. It acts as a middle layer which helps the system libraries to communicate to the kernel components. Okay, so this is a short description, I would say, about how Linux operating system works. Now let us try to understand what is the difference between Linux and Unix. So the main difference between Linux and Unix is that Linux is open sourced whereas Unix is licensed. Okay. Now why Linux? So basically it is used almost everywhere, including the embedded devices, Android phones where the OS is based on Linux, big servers, cloud computing, routers and appliances. So the system administrators, software developers, network engineers, DevOps and cyber security people need Linux. So that's why it is important to learn Linux. Next thing is about distributions. Now first of all, try to understand what are distributions. They are the customized versions of Linux operating system, which means that Linux kernel engine is same for all of them, but the package management system is different in each of them, which is customized by the respective companies, right? So Ubuntu, Debian, Red Hat, as well as CentOS are different distributions. So for learning Linux, we are going to make use of Ubuntu. So let us try to understand features as well. What are the features of Linux? So basically it is open source, which we have already discussed. It is multi-user platform, which means that multiple users can be created in this particular operating system. Then multitasking is available, which means that multiple processes can run at the same time. It is highly secure as compared to other operating systems like Windows or Mac. It is highly portable, which means that it can be executed on any of the devices. Okay, so this was all about the introduction part. So we are going to make use of a virtual machine in order to execute Linux commands. So I am going to make use of an AWS platform. If you want to create virtual machine using VirtualBox or VMware, which are also going to provide you GUI, then you can go with that as well. There's no problem. In case of AWS, you won't be getting the GUI. You can only be executing commands on terminal over there. Okay, so within this AWS account, I would be creating an EC2 instance. So EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud, which is for the virtual machine. So virtual machines in cloud are considered as instance. Okay, so we'll go to search EC2 and we are over here. Okay, now let's go and create a virtual machine. So let me click on launch instances. Then in here I have got server, then there is Amazon machine image, in short an operating system. Okay, so I would be considering Ubuntu as my operating system, and the rest of the things I will be keeping them as it is. We will be making use of T2.micro. And for the key pair, so what is a key pair? So basically key pair is nothing but a way to securely connect to our EC2 instance. So basically what happens is whenever we create a key pair, two keys are created, one which is public key and the other one is a private key. So public key is kept with the AWS cloud and the private key gets downloaded on the user's system. Okay, now every time you want to connect to the EC2 instance, you can connect it with the help of private. So over here I have already created a key, that is Linux. If you want to create a new one, you can just go over here, create new key pair, just enter any name that you want to, and rest of the things just keep it as it is and click on key pair. Once you click on create key pair, it is going to get downloaded. Okay, so that was about key pair. Now there are multiple network settings. Okay, I will be clicking on edit. So basically I want to assign a public IP to my instance, so I would be just going with enable the public IP. And for this security group, we would be creating a new security group, okay, which has got a permission of SSH. So security group, if you don't know, is nothing but a firewall which where we are going to allow certain ports to connect to our EC2 instance. So over here it is already mentioned as 22, that is SSH. SSH means secure shell. Okay, so we are going to make use of SSH in order to connect to our EC2 instance. Okay, and this for the storage I would be keeping it as 10 GB and launch instance. And here we are with a new instance which is in the pending state. Okay, now you can see that the server is in running state. Now in order to connect to our EC2 instance which is running, we will go to connect option, and within these options just click on SSH client, and over here you will get this particular thing. Just copy it, okay, and go to the Git Bash. If you don't have Git Bash installed, you can install it. Okay, I will be going to downloads where I have my key, that is Linux key. Okay, I will be pasting this particular command over here, and here we are within our Ubuntu system. Okay, now in this you can see it has this Ubuntu as well as IP 172.31.0 and 157, right? So basically what this indicates is that this is the username, and after @ we have got the host name. Okay, now there is a command, that is who am I. Okay, so it is returning the result as Ubuntu, which means that the current user which we are working on is Ubuntu. Now, as we discussed earlier in features also, that there are multiple users on Linux systems, right? So this is one such user created by our EC2 instance itself. Okay, click on or if I execute host name command, it is going to give me this. Okay, so that's about host name. Host name in the sense the system that you are running on is the host, and the name of it. That's it. Now, there are three roots in Linux. So first of all, let us try to understand that. Okay. So basically, we have got a root account. Secondly, we have slash, which is the root directory. And third thing which we have is slash root, which is the root user directory. So for now, don't think much. Just try to understand this root is account. Okay, account in the sense a user. There is a root user, which is also known as a super user. Super user in the sense that it is the most powerful account that you can create, modify, delete accounts and make changes to system configuration files, which means that with this account you can do any of the operations without any required permissions. Why? Because it is the super user, and that is why it is the super user account. Okay, and the next thing is about slash, which means the root directory. Now over here, if I go to cd slash enter, I am in the root directory. Now let's try to list the files. Now for listing the files and folders, we have this command, that is ls. Okay, now in this you can see all the folders. Okay, we don't have files over here, we have got the folders. Now within list also there are multiple things that you can see. Okay, so first of all, if I say ls-a, which means that it will display all the hidden files also. You can see over here these two dot. So hidden files are something which start with dot. Okay, so with this particular command we can see the hidden files and folders as well. Okay, then we also have got ls-l. Now with this command what happens is it shows the file in the long format, but for now just try to understand that with ls-l we get all the details with respect to that particular file or folder. Okay, so what details do we get? This is the type. We will go in detail like what is R, W and X, and this part is nothing but the number of links that we have. Then we have got the owner, this is the group, this is the size, this is the month, the date and the time. Okay, and lastly the name. So this long format is shown with the help of ls-l. Now after this we also have got one more command, that is ls-lar. Now what this R does is it prints the same output, it gives the same output in the reverse order. Okay, so var is the last thing, right? It is going to show it on the top. Let's see. So over here you can see var and then user, then temp, everything is in the reverse order. So if you want to see the or view the files in the reverse order, you can make use of this option of -r. Okay, then after that we have -t as well. So if you want to view the files on the basis of their modification time, then what you can do is you can just say ls-lat. Okay, and here you are with the sequence based on the timing. You can see that it's 9:42, which is the latest, and it has been sorted as per the modification time. Okay, so this is all about ls. Now let's try to create a file. So in order to create a file, you can just make use of touch command. Okay, touch say test.txt. Okay, so with the help of this command you can create a text. Now it is showing me permissions denied because I am a user. I am not a root user, right? I am in the user uh, account. I'm making use of user over here, and I don't have permission to execute this command. So what I can do is I can just make use of sudo. Now it has got all the permissions with all the privileges that a root user have. So with this command we will be able to create a test, but we don't need to create it in the root folder. What we can do is we can just go cd tilde, okay. Then in this, what does cd mean? Yes, I have also not explained you the cd. Cd in the sense the change directory, and this is the home directory it is pointing to. Like, we have one more command, that is pwd, which means that present working directory. Okay, so over here you can see we are in this particular folder. It is the path, and the path starts with a slash, which is the root directory. Then from that we have a home folder, and within home folder we have Ubuntu user folder. Okay, so whenever we create a new user, one directory of that user is created within the home directory. Okay, so that we are going to learn in the file system, but for now just try to understand that whenever a user is created, this is the path where its directory is also created. Okay, now within the home I will be creating a file with the help of touch and the name of the file. You can give it anything. Okay, I will be just giving it as touch test.txt. Okay, and enter, and just see, you over here you can see the file name as test.txt. Okay, now in order to add, okay, if I want to add some content to this particular file, what I can do is I can just go with vi test.txt, enter. Now once I am inside it, I have to click on I. With this we are going into the insert mode. So in this case, let's say hello India. Okay, then escape it and WQ and enter. Now if you want to view the content of the file, you can just do cat test tab, enter. What you can see is the hello India. So this is the content of the file, right? Now similarly we have multiple commands. So see, there are multiple commands in Linux. You won't be using all of them. Only few of them will be used. Okay, so let us try to understand the basic ones in this video. In the coming videos we will be covering the advanced commands with respect to their use cases. Okay, now there is one more command to create a directory, that is mkdir. Okay, and let us give it a name as file, or let's say mkdir folder 1. Okay, just enter, and let's ls it, and you can see that we have the folder created, and the color of the folder is different from that of the text file. Okay, so in this way we have created a folder with the help of mkdir. Okay, now there is one more command. Now if I have a text file over here and I want this text file to be copied to this particular folder, then how would I do it? With the help of cp command. So cp test.txt into folder 1, enter. Now if you say ls, if you change directory to folder 1, sorry, it's folder 1, you can see that this text file has been copied over here. Now how is it? CP, the source and the destination where you want to copy your file to. So this is how is the syntax of it. Okay, now we are under the folder, right? Now if I want to move this file from this folder again to another folder, let me create another folder. Okay, cd. Now I am inside the folder. Now if I want to come out of the folder, what I'll do is I'll just go two dots, cd two dots. Okay, now if I do ls, I can see that I am under the home directory, right? The Ubuntu one. Now folder, now let's try to create kdir folder 2. Okay, now I want to move the file from folder 1 to folder 2. How would I do it? Now there is a difference between copy and move, right? So for that, what we are going to do is we are going to remove that file from folder 1 and move it to folder 2. How would we do that? Move source file and the destination. So folder 1 slash test.txt to folder 2 and enter. Now if we go inside the folder 1, that is cd folder 1 and ls it, you won't see anything. Nothing is there in the folder 1. Now let's come back and go to folder 2. Okay, if I go over here, I can see test.txt has been moved from folder 1 to folder 2. Okay, so we would be covering only these commands in this lecture because I don't want to confuse you more. Practice these commands. Whatever commands I have given over here, you practice it and you will learn more on it when you actually do hands-on on it. And the further videos will be more advanced ones. This was just the basic introductory video. Okay, I hope you liked it. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel if you found the video useful. Thank you so much.